Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today I want to show you how I overseed my loose leaf lettuces. Grow them as transplants for about 3 weeks and then you put them right into a flower box. And I'm just going to go through this quickly. On my other channel, My First Vegetable Garden, I'm going to go into more detail about how you do this, but I thought I would just give you, a quick presentation. So today is February 26th. The lettuces in here have been overseeded and they were started on February 5th, and you can see how nicely they're growing. I do grow some lettuces with 1 or 2 per cell. These will be put out into the ground, into my earth beds, and they will grow to full size, and I'll cut them off and harvest a full head. But I also like to do the overseeded method in flower boxes and even in the garden, where I can go out, have so many leaves out there, I'm just pulling leaves off of different plants, make a nice bowl of salad. This is a great way to do it. The overseeded seeding method's pretty straightforward. A nicely packed tray of starting mix, drop in a lot of lettuce seeds. They're inexpensive. These are my salad bowl reds, and then just mix them in. Seeds don't care. Lettuces, if they stay a little bit on the top, they're a 1/4 inch down, a 1/2 inch down, they're good to grow. And this is how you prepare an overseeded cell 6-pack of lettuces. Now, the lettuce here is 3 weeks old. They're good to go out into the garden today. You want to catch them at about 21 days, somewhere between 15 and 25. You don't want them getting really bigger than this. Get them out into the flower boxes so the root systems can expand and the leaves will grow. But you have to do a couple of things. After about a week after germination, a light dilute fertilizer with nitrogen, you need to feed these. They need a good amount of nitrogen while they're in the starting mix. And I recommend really like a 2.5 nitrogen or 5 nitrogen. You don't have to be way up there, but just a consistent level of nitrogen to feed your lettuces. Lettuces are like 90% water or even higher. All they really care about is nitrogen. So we're at 21 days, and this is all I do. Let's find, here's a red romaine. Is you just pop the cell out, pop out the plug of lettuces, and you just break it right down the middle. Don't go through the leaves up here, because you tend to end up breaking more than keeping more. Go straight down the root ball and just tear, and they divide out nicely. And then they just get dropped in here about every 2 to 3 inches. Once they're in there, again, you want to feed them weekly with the nitrogen fertilizer. You could use organic fish emulsion, you can use a processed chemical fertilizer. Plants do not care what kind of fertilizer you're using. They take in nitrogen from the processed chemical fertilizer that we make as people, or they take in the fertilizer, the nitrogen from like fish emulsion. The difference is organic fertilizers will feed the microbes in your soil, and that's great. But the microbes have to break down the fish emulsion so that the plants can pull in the nitrogen. I'll talk more about that in a different video. The key is I don't want you to worry that you have to be 100% organic or you have a terrible garden. Or if you use some chemical or processed fertilizers, then you're doing something wrong. You're not. The goal is to have a great garden of healthy food, and you can use either type of fertilizer. Now, once this goes out into the sun, if you didn't do a very important step, the sun is going to damage this. So at week 2, these are 3 weeks old, so at 14 days, I've been taking these outside, putting them in the sun, letting the sun hit the leaves for about an hour a day, an hour or two. I increased the amount of time they were out there as they were out longer over the week. They get used to the cold, they get used to the wind, they get used to the sun. When they're grown indoors, protected from wind, cold, and sun, if you put them straight out into the elements, they're going to get damaged. So you have to acclimate them over a week's period before you get to this process and put them outside. But this is a great way to grow a lot of leaf lettuce so that you have a continuous supply over the cool season, spring in my zone. And again, you can do this in fall. Hope you enjoyed the video. Gives you some idea of how easy it is to overseed your lettuce greens. Get them started indoors. Just split them up, get them into your flower boxes and outside. Please check out my blog at www.therusticgarden.blogspot.com. Also check out my YouTube videos, and I'm also selling all the seeds all the plants you see in my videos this year, and you can find that at www.therustedgarden.com. Thank you.